are now live.
I'm live with a water spray. Good afternoon, good evening, good night, good morrow. Season's greetings. St. Nicholas is in the house and lots of other people. Shelby, where are you going?
I'm leaving.
You've got to take your hair out. I've got a live model. I've just been filming a model. Come and wish season's greetings to everyone. Poke your finger on the screen. The wonderful Shelby's been in the house this morning with me doing loads of videos for your visual enjoyment in 2024. She's just going to poke in, say hello, just to show you that I do not work here on my own.
This is his magic that he just did.
It's
so
all smoke
really
and mirrors.
Good. I feel like a different person with this hair.
All right, off.
Hello.
She's gone. Thanks, Shelby. See you next year.
Bye.
This is going to be the haircut of this season or next season?
Winter hair health. Oh, that's the next one. Sorry.
Ah, you got it wrong. Mike's just called this winter hair health, and he's just like he's ahead of me. That's on January the 8th. That must be with Ali because I'm not here. I'll be in Germany.
Haircut for 2024.
On my way to Sweden. Haircut of what?
For 2024.
Next year's haircut.
Yep.
Right. Okay. So what I've seen over the few years, we went from shag, we went into 80s, 90s hair. So this is a big thing. 90s trend hair. What were we doing in the 90s? So I had hair like this. I've already pre-cut the bottom. You can't see it down here. It's just a nice square blunt. But straight hair was so in the 90s, and it was also, we had obviously a lot of trends, but I'm seeing those little tiger stripe highlights flying around as well. There was massive amount of point cutting going on. And then the hair was flattened out with a straightening flat iron. So, I'd like to go back to basically what I was doing then. It's not a case of like the trend of like, it's my interpretation of it and maybe how it's changed, but what were we doing then, really? And it was a case of not only layering hair, thinning hair out, weight distribution, etc. But it's what the girls were coming in and asking for predominantly. So I am going to spin this around briefly. If I can get her to go around that way. There you go. I'm going to start putting in my layer, my guide. So there was a couple of options I would do with this. I could do length in the front, cut that, and then take that as my guide, elevate up. But I'm actually going to work internally. So I'm going to work internally out to perimeter. Perimeter is going to be my last thing. So it's just a variation on a theme. Why did I do that? Well, you just got to know, have both options. So I'm working on a radial parting from behind the ear to the other side of the ear. Obviously, always keeping that nice and clean. As you see there, just behind the ear. I would normally section this hair out, but I'm on a time schedule today, so I'll normally section that out, keep it out of the way. Good habits, section it out, keep it out of the way so it's not soaking wet. It will not drip then into your client's face. But my model here is so accommodating, she doesn't mind. As per usual, Magic Mike is behind the camera. I've got this also being filmed by our wonderful video editor. He's going to poke his face in front of the camera and say hello because you never see him. Come round the back, introduce yourself. Come on, put yourself on camera. It's the Christmas edition. We've got to see all the people that contribute. There you go. And you are?
I am Francisco Diaz.
Francisco. He does all the editing of our wonderful videos. Mike sends it to him on a 2 a.m. deadline from Fashion Week and says, get this done in 30 minutes.
He says, I don't care if you don't have to sleep.
Yeah. So respect to him.
Great.
He's a veteran, US Marine. Okay.
Right.
So.
Semper Fi.
Absolutely. He's an ex-leatherneck. So there you go. Combat photographer. We got special people in the house. Mike, the Grammy winner, little Grammy winner. He's going to come and say hello in a second as well. And Francisco, US Marine Corps. There you go. Respect to those boys. So anyway, let me get on with the damn haircut, shall I? Stop talking. Any questions per usual, please send them in. About anything, doesn't have to be about what I'm doing today. Purely can be about Fashion Week, signing up. Usual, people. So I'm just going to bring that hair up. As you can see through here, I've got a bit of overextension coming out from the head. So is it 90 from the head? Well, it is from here, but overextension from that point. because my finger is coming up to square it, it's not coming out perpendicular to the head. So there's my overextension at that point taking place. Why am I doing that? Well, I want that layer to drop away. So I'm going to put my initial blunt cut in. Because I'm working with this amount of hair, I want it to be reasonably precise. I like to do it precision cutting, maybe at this point, especially on fine hair. It's good to see that. We did mention point cutting, but fine hair, I'm doing a fine hair example. I wouldn't point cut everything until maybe at the end, just to help blend those layers.
That's your first hello from Cinderella.
Cinderella?
Cinderella.
Not Cinderella, but Cinderella.
Yeah, because it's spaced out. Sind_E_Rella.
Where's she running in from? That's
Let's
not.
see.
It's not Cindy from Germany, is it?
Champaign, Illinois.
Champaign, Illinois. Hello, Illinois. How's the weather up there? It's nice and sunny down here in California, as per usual. December. I'm off to Europe in a week or so, so I'm going to get my fair share of damp, cold, etc. Got the European tour coming up, getting all those people prepared for Fashion Week. Got a rather nice trip lined up. We go to London, see the guys in London, so hello Unite Air UK, and then I will go from there to Germany, see all our German friends, and after that we visit Sweden. I'll be in Stockholm. Looks a bit cold there in Stockholm at the moment, as per usual. There's a bit of snow, but it was definitely freezing or below, so I've pulled out the big thick winter coats for that one. So I'm pivoting from my original section now. I'm just working my way around the head. I might just end up only doing half the head on this. We'll see how we go for time. Making sure we follow distribution, how the hair is pulled out. Why do I do this? Well, the over direction allows me to make sure that I'm not cutting into my perimeter, as you'll see through here at my peripheral vision. As I overextend the hair up and out, you will see the bottom drop away. Not yet. And any questions, as I say, please send them in. Mike will relay them to me. And at this point, I should see that bottom, there you go, the bottom's falling away right there. So I'm not cutting into my perimeter line. And we're going to follow that all the way around. And you'll see from this next section, I do forward diagonal. And just making sure I follow that. I am following it around the head. I'm going to move this head back towards me slightly, purely because my distribution weight, etc., is pulled out directly from the head. So if I move that to you just there, looking, checking the camera, as you can see through here, the weight distribution pulled out from the head. It's not pulled back. So what you people, especially when you first start doing hairdressing, habit I see, you stay behind the chair and you start pulling everything back. Nothing wrong with that if you want the hair to be pushed forward, because the shortest point will be in the back. It will then push the hair forward, short supports along. So if you're aware of your distribution, just check it before you start cutting. If you pull it this way, that way, you'll see if you overextend it one way, there's a little bit of sag there in the root. If you go back the other way, it's on the other side. If it's out level, 90 degrees on that section, perpendicular, or whatever you want to call it, it comes up. It's nice and taut, both sides of the section. I've got my guide, I'm following my guide, what I've cut before. Stress-free hair cutting, that's what I like to see. And it really is just a simple layering pattern, but I just like to sort of go over good fundamentals. You know, I get asked, oh, what's this haircut called? Things like that. There is no name for it. It's just good fundamental hairdressing, good layering technique, etc. Every haircut comes out of pretty much your own imagination. You have got to decide the amount of hair you're either going to leave or you're going to take off. There isn't necessarily one guide. One size does not fit all. You've got to make it bespoke to that individual client. And with these mannequin heads, I know most of the hair is on that central section. So that's why I decided to work from in to out. So it's an in to out haircut. So don't disrupt that bottom layer. the length of it. And what we're doing, we're just getting a nice, more of an even distribution of weight now running through the head. Also, I'd like to sort of show you as well on our initial guide, the length of that, where does that impact? So when it comes from here on the head, it's impacting, it's pretty much in the nape of the neck. So it's just beyond it. So client says she always wants to still be able to tie her hair back. There you go, we've got that. We do the quick grab in the nape of the neck, no problem, still can tie it back. So there's one little consideration. If they want volume, etc. on the crown, then my suggestion is you can cut it shorter, take it just beyond the occipital bone. So when it falls down, if it's just beyond the occipital bone, this will make that pop and jump a little bit. Really, really good that is for anyone who struggles, got a flat crown, etc. Asian hair always has that problem. It always seems to fall flat on the crown. It's good to always be aware of that. You can do a separate triangular section out of that, cut into it, make that hair pop. Always worth it. So I'm just going to continue up to level with the ear on this. And because I've got less hair in the front, this is where I do my first bit of over direction, pulling it back to the previous subsection and layer that one accordingly. As you can see through here, get that by the jacket. Sections are nice and clean. I can see even tension. There we go, through here. Keep your elbow nice and high on the cutting hand. Just working from the front finger to the middle knuckle. Always a good one as well. I'm not trying to work all the way down the fingers. And here was a good question. He's like, do you want to work quickly? Well, just working cleaner and methodically, you will actually find you'll work faster as well anyway. Once again, I'm seeing that perimeter just drop out as well. So I'm not cutting into that. And it's to say, this is what I call a nice safe haircut. But it's just going to give you a lot of options when you're styling it. And consequently, the client's going to still have long hair as well. Any more questions yet, Mike?
No.
Mike's disappeared. Just making sure that this actually is real. He's disappeared off to see our makeup artist. I'm going to see if I can drag her on.
Yeah,
She deserves a hello as well, because she spent all year with us doing all the makeup for all the models you see on our lives, our how-tos, etc. See if I can drag her in. She hates going on front of cameras, which is even more reason for me to do it.
Cindy Rella did mention that it is 30 degrees where she's at.
30 degrees Fahrenheit, because she's American, which is below freezing, because 32 is freezing. So, come on, Astrid, come over. Come on. I'm not going to repeat what she just said. Sounded like old sugar.
Oh, sugar.
Yeah, come on, sugar. So one more person, wish you a Merry Season's greetings and all of that. Bon Noel. Astrid's in the house, she's leaving. She's a wonderful makeup artist. Come on. I've got to grab everyone today. I'm not doing all this on my own. Ali's not here, so you've got to put up with it. Where are you? Oh, you're around the other side of the camera. Here's Astrid, a wonderful makeup artist. She's responsible for all the great looks that you do all throughout the year.
Yes.
Yeah, so anyway, there you go.
Merry
Wish them all Merry
Christmas.
Christmas, and
Merry
we'll see you in
Christmas, everyone.
2024.
Yes. See you guys next year. Bye-bye. Oh my gosh, I'm terrible. Bye guys, love
She'll
you.
always say, oh, I look dreadful on camera. It's great when you get the people. And Mike's going to come in now to give the season's greetings. Yeah, why not?
Everyone's gonna get a shot.
Absolutely. Why not,
Bye,
indeed?
guys.
Bye, Astrid. Hi, everybody.
Was that
Resident
it?
photographer, videographer here. If you've been to Runway Ready, you've seen me do my thing backstage and follow Gary around and get all that content that we do. And then if you'll have a chance to see everything in the studio coming this year too with all of our new opportunities. So season's greetings and Happy New Year.
Hold on. You're not getting away that quickly. So, Mike, what's your favourite thing to do when you're with us in New York Fashion Week?
Well,
Or
my
Runway Ready? Come on.
Cameraman is my favorite thing to do.
Yeah, but filming what? What's your favourite thing to do? Come on, you must have preferences.
Probably the video portraits that we get to do with the finished shots of the models to capture
Right, so-
everybody's hard work. Yeah.
So come on then, good tips for people who want to do some of their own camera work if they're with us at Fashion Week or they want to do it generally in a salon. What are you going to tell them they should do to improve that?
Lighting is everything. So get yourself near a big window if you don't happen to have any studio lights around, or if you're you know, backstage somewhere, do your very best to get into the biggest, softest source that you can.
So natural lighting is always a thing to go for?
Yeah, 100%, especially like documentary style, which is really what we do while we're capturing all the backstage stuff. But it's a very hectic, chaotic environment. It is far from controlled. So if you can get yourself a model close to the window, that's your best recipe for success.
Fantastic. Okay, hold on. There's one more. He's doing me a load of questions later, so I'm getting him back. So the biggest common mistake most people make when they're shooting the video or pictures?
The opposite of what I just said, I suppose. Kind of just like dealing with whatever you have and not trying to find the best light. The other thing, Francisco's actually really good at this, is tuning the settings on your phone or your camera to match the environment. So if you happen to be shooting on an iPhone, there are some settings that will set you up for success versus the like default, just open the box and use the
That's
phone.
where I was going. What's a good tip to be shooting on your phone?
4K, highest resolution your phone can do, which I think right now would be 4K on the newest iPhone. And you're going to want to pick a frame rate. This is going to get super technical, Gary.
I don't care, it's all right. There's some super technical hairdressers out there.
Pick a frame rate that is native for like your platform. If you're going to use Instagram, you want to be on 30 or some equivalent to that. So your phone could do 60p or 120, which is technically slow.
How do they find out about
that? In the menu, actually. If you go to your general settings on your iPhone specific, because I do not know Android, you go to your general settings and then your camera settings, and then it's all right there in video. You'll hit 4K, and then you'll look for something that says 30p or 60p. You do not want to shoot 24. That's like the film cinematic look, and it's just not going to look as crisp.
So that's especially for Instagram?
Yes.
Or all social media?
Almost all social media platforms have the same frame rate.
See, I never knew about that. I'm now going into my settings, and then I'll be coming to you fast and furious from New York, hopefully looking 20 years younger.
Maybe I got to do a screen capture and post that on
I like the sound of that.
Of all the settings.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, guys. Happy New Year.
He was so uncomfortable doing that. That's what I love to see. Because no one standing in front of him. It's just a little camera lens. And yet people will shy away from that. Amazing, amazing. Anyway, I'm just working around the head. I'm pivoting around the head. What I hopefully you're getting from this is that I'm working like nice and slow, methodical, clean. And it looks so simple. You know, I always think, you know, the things that I used to love about watching people cut hair back in the day, when I first started hairdressing, is they made it look so easy. They would just section the hair out, because generally, you know, a lot of people we see they're all very much, you know, fresh out of college, etc. I'm going to move this. You put that weight bag back on the bottom there. And they struggle with sectioning, etc. And you know, the good hairdressers I used to watch, they just made it all look so simple. Just picking the hair up, sectioning the hair through here, and also that key area of just before they cut, it always just looked to be in the right place, nicely presented. And it goes a long way. I found that goes a long way for when I wanted to grow my clientele, because I found if people would watch you, clients would watch you in the salon, they were like, oh, they look really good at cutting hair, even if you weren't feeling really great or confident that day. The mere fact you look so clean, technical, etc. You never look like you're grabbing the hair, you're cleaning your sections up before you cut them. Always present them. And another thing that I find that especially younger hairdressers don't do, they don't give themselves enough room when they're cutting the hair. They're just working always right on top of the client. And by that I mean they're extremely close to it. Their arms are all hunched, they're pulled down, they've got to do like this. Look how much room I give myself. You know, so I can just move my arms really nicely. I can see it way in front of me. I can present that section to what I've got. I can see it there nice and cleanly. And off she comes. Simple. I will check for balance on the back of the head. Ooh, look at that. We're doing okay. Now, how do I then join that front piece up? Well, I'll take my guide obviously from the crown. high point, and I will run that down in a profile section right the way on the middle. I'll keep the hair nice and wet for this, purely because it dries out so quick and under these studio lights. So a nice damping. I've already prepped the hair as well. I've actually, my secret sauce is 7 seconds, obviously. Wherever that's disappeared to, because everyone always runs away with it. Mike, what do you do in my 7 seconds? See, the cameraman stole it earlier.
Why had to prep your doll head there?
Yeah, squeeze on my double for me. So my secret sauce is 7 seconds. Obviously, it's going to moisturise and strengthen the actual hair I'm working on. But this certain hair type, the hair's coarse, a little tip for you, I add a little bit of Silky Smooth over the top because it will help my comb run through. It's great cutting lotion, but it's also I'm prepping the hair. So if I want to do a smooth look, dead straight, arguments like we're doing a 90s look on this, well, I'm already prepping the hair with some of this in there. Or going on damp hair, ideal, over the top of 7 seconds. Nothing is detrimental to the other one. It just gives me a little bit extra of slippage on there, just to ride the comb through the hair really nice. And it really is just a very, very light mist. But I'm already adding product to the hair. Also a great conversation starter with your client, really important, the introduction of what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. I'm not using water. Everybody's like, oh, that smells nice. Why are you not using water spray, etc.? I said, well, I don't need to. Your hair's already damp from being shampooed, nice and clean. I just want to start my prepping time of what I'm going to do with your hair when I style it. There is very, very rare ever occasion a client will ever say to you, my hair is over moisturised. My hair is too shiny. My hair is too slippery. It's in too great a condition. Happens extremely rarely. We often, as hairdressers, I call it glass hair, where you get that really nice head of hair comes in the salon, hasn't had any colour on it, and don't use any heat. But you know, they're once in every 100 clients you get that. It's very, very rare. Rare. It's rare. Very rare. Rare and rare. A bit like steaks. So, got a profile section on top of the head. Yes, I could bend the client's head down, so profile-wise, the head leaning forward. Why is that? Well, it just allows me then to get in there. So if you're vertically challenged a little bit, great way to move the head. And now I'm going to run that square to the head. So there you go, and you can really see that. I'm going to get out of the way so you can see that. There's my head shape. Look at that, really nice and clean. And I'm cutting back to my guide. And this is effectively going to determine the length in the front as well. Because I'm working right the way down to that front hairline, pulling it out nice and square. I could, if I so wish, change the angle of my fingers, do some overextension there in the front. But that would push the hair from behind, that would push it into the face as well. So I'm going to make sure I stay consistent with that section beforehand. As you can see through here, if I overextend that, you see that, what I said before, there's a little, and then if I do overextend that way, it goes back there. So I know I'm good through that. If I just remove that section out of the way, so my fingers can cope with that section cleanly. Standing here, I can actually sort of see then if I'm pulling there that way, and you can see that the root sag there, so good habits. Any questions, Mike? Any other comments from anyone in?
Nothing yet.
No one else in the house? Well, it's a different time of day as well. Quite nice to be going out at midday. I mean, it's 8 o'clock in UK, 9 o'clock in Central Europe, 3 o'clock on the East Coast. So now I'm doing forward diagonals from that pivot, if you want to say. I'm working clockwise, pivoting around that section, but I'm overextending everything now to that one I've just cut in the middle. Why am I doing that? Because there's less hair on the sides, so I'm now overextending everything to that middle section. So that's where the haircut is slightly altered. Oh, the lights went down. You're really going to see that overextension in a second. Now watch the pivot through here. As you can see through there, that section now is working from the crown more or less right the way down to the recession area, overextending up to the top. And this is really important as well. When you've done that section, then generally you will get a bit lazy and you'll pull the hair this way. So much you've got to go back to square. Okay, so always just check that root base, make sure it's coming back up to square on the head. Cut accordingly. I'm quite enjoying this actually, it's really nice. It's a rather nice change. And it's taking me back. I thought I should go back into salon life. I might be able to do it still. It'd only take me like 3 hours to do this haircut behind a chair. But they were fail-safes for me in a salon because working methodically and easy, predetermining that all that in a consultation on the client beforehand, what we're going to do, going through like that, it really did help my time management when working on clients. Very, very important, especially this time of year. When you're so busy, it's invariable you get behind, or then I would sort of even make sure I'd be even more disciplined what I was doing because I would know I would make up time. Going back to this, I wasn't selling the client short, giving them a bad service, just trying to rush it through. And it would just make my life styling easier as well. We come back, we've only got a couple more sections to do, so we pivot down through here again, taking that previous section off. As you can see through here, I've gone beyond recession. So the section at the top there is getting less and less. We've only got that bit left of hair to cut. Okay, that was all the previous subsection. So we're working our way back to meet back of the head. So as you can see through here, once I said again, overextending, comb action there at the root, we make sure we take it across and put it all the way back up to square on that previous section. Feel like we should have some music going on.
Can make that happen.
I'm always going to harp on about it. Sign-ups for Fashion Week, etc. You can do them on class requests, unitehair.com, or message directly on Unite Hair TV for any questions you have. Even if you're wanting to go and you don't want to sign up yet, please just register interest as well. That would really help us out, purely because of demand of when the teams are going to be there. Really important, because last year it worked really successfully. We actually got to tell people when to come into town, when to come into New York and to get the show. Some split their journeys and came at the beginning of the week, and then the others came at the end, and it was really helped everyone out because then they got to do some nice shows, as opposed to everyone being there at the beginning of the week and then they missed some really cool shows at the end. So if you do know, if you're interested, please let us know. There's nothing wrong with just letting us know your interest without booking. Nothing wrong with that. I love that. For this season, next season, does not matter. We'd still be looking forward to seeing you. A bit of water spray. I can already see the shape of this working in the front. I'm going to spin around when I've done. So I've actually gone now and I've worked all the way back into the previous. As you can see, comb works the way in, overextension all the way to the top. And it's so easy to miss out on your direction. It's so easy to pull this hair forward and then you start changing the weight distribution. You've got to make sure you come back, because the head, you could lift the head if you want it to at this point, so I can show you what I'm talking about. It's just what I like, gravity working on my side, it just allows the hair to fall away as well. So let's pull that off. We can work on a horizontal section and we will pull that up to top of the head.
30 minutes in here.
Half an hour already, Mike?
Correct.
15 minutes left. Wow. See this hair drying off already under the lights on the ends. Wonderful water spray bottle we produced there. Makes my life a lot easier. And a good bit of 7 seconds. Same thing would apply if it was a client. I would still be moisturising hair. Like, for argument's sake, this hair was heavily coloured. You're going to feel that. If you've got the stretch going into it, that bungee effect coming in the hair, the stretch is going to be a lot more when you cut the hair, obviously. So take that into account. It's going to dry up shorter. So don't be sort of over too zealous with your scissors. If you've got hair that is heavily coloured, it will maintain moisture in its wet state way more and stretch more accordingly. So always bear that in mind when you're cutting coloured or extremely porous hair, the stretch on it. We always had that standing joke, it's either an inch or a hairdresser's inch, well, or centimetres, 2.5 centimetres if you want to go that way. Mike, you're closing the doors again, keeping people out.
It's lunch break time.
Is it?
A lot of banging around going on in the kitchen.
I don't mind that. We'll get the lunchtime smells wafting in. Makes us all hungry. Keep that hair nice and square. Let's have a look. Very useful having a camera there. One more thing, I'll drop the hair down from the front and the back. So I've got it just in front of the ear, through here, and I can do a nice little cross check to make sure we haven't left anything out. Pull it up on the vertical, just like we did before. To make sure we haven't missed any hair, and look at that, there's a tiny one hair there, that's all it is. Because I worked on the vertical through here, cross hatch you would do on the horizontal, and it's the same through here. I've worked pretty much on a diagonal, then just change your diagonal from that side, you can cross check through that one. But basically we've now got all the hair distribution weight wise, will all be pretty much even. Front, top of the crown, all the way through to the back. That's running in a nice square line to the head, and then we have our overextension through here running out as well. So we know that runs on a line from the top of the head, runs all the way across square and cuts out that way. Okay, this will then hopefully give us a really good guide for the front of the head. So our perimeter effectively becomes our last piece. So I'll do a centre parting, because I wanted even distribution on this. The client can wear it either way. I've only got time to do this left side. So, there's a little question I've got coming up. I'm going to answer it now as well, actually, a little spoiler alert. It's like, would I prefer using a razor or shears? I personally don't have a strong preference. I think the shears, way more versatile. I'll do way more haircuts, probably with scissors, than I would do with a razor, but then I love what the razor achieves and the difference it achieves, and it allows me to go too long to short in a very, very short space. It just becomes a case of preference of how I see that haircut looking and the vibe I want to create. So extremely useful tool, and just to have mastery of all of them is a massive, massive advantage as a hairdresser. So you can see through here what that layering effect has done. Okay, we didn't have anything cut on the perimeter beforehand, so I'm going to make sure you can see this nice and clear. So I'm going to get rid of the hair we don't want to see. Take all that out of the way, and then hopefully you can see the nice line that I've created. because this is pretty much one of the most important parts of the haircut. Okay, let's move it around so you get a good camera view through here. There you go. So from that layering technique, we've got the base of the hair that was already cut. That was cut nice and square down through here. And then that layering has already given me a decent line. And remember, I didn't cut any of the perimeter, but you can already see the line that has given me. So now I can look at that more methodically and cut. Okay, so now do I work on natural fall, taking the hair straight down, or do I do forward grad and pull the hair out? So I would come round to the other side to present the hair to me. So I'm almost working at a 45-degree angle to the head, and I work from the bottom perimeter baseline up. So there I don't have any need to subdivide the hair off into sections. So there is the base of my hair, and this is where I'm going to make the decision of where do I start to impact. So I literally will take working up the head in a nice, clear, precise fashion. Almost I'm following that line. I'm drawing a line up the head, so I'm presenting the hair through here. Just because that hair there, I don't need to cut it, is literally that piece I'm taking off to improve that line. See, I'm working on natural fall as well. No forward grad on this. I shouldn't say forward grad, I should say forward graduation. And as you can see through here, natural fall off the head. Hopefully you can see a nice clean line working from baseline to the front. And that's given me my 80s, 90s stroke layers I want to do. It's super long, so if I needed to and I wanted to carry on working on that, change the angle, I want to take some more length off, it is much easier to work from your previous and work the way up, making sure you improve that angle. Remember, keep that consistent. If I'm working on natural fall, it stays at natural fall. I'm not pulling the hair out here, point cutting, etc. You can do that, but the hair type does not necessarily warrant that, because the hair on this is quite fine. This is going to be feathered within a couple of weeks anyway. If you're on a natural client, natural hair, that's what's going to do it. That's what I'm saying. I was talking about. This is much more on finer hair. What I would be wanting to do. Now we could then go over that point cutting we were talking about for that 90s vibe, blending it all in when it was blow dried out, etc. Literally all I would do is take slightly larger sections, elevate the hair up, okay, and then you can see the depth of where my fingers are. I come directly over the top with the scissors and go into it. Point cutting doesn't exist up here, that's just texturizing the ends. Okay, if I actually want to influence weight and texture, I'll make sure I have some proper distance, and I'll make sure my scissors come in as 90 as I can and go in nice and deep. And what does that do? Well, I'm not changing the direction, I'm not coming in from a certain direction. There's nothing wrong with doing that, just make sure you're consistent and you do that everywhere you cut. If you're going to come in from one direction, you can make sure you come in from the other. Otherwise, you're going to push the hair on the ends either way. And that would be the limit of my point cutting from back in the day. It would maybe be on that top section, and it does eradicate maybe any tiny corners you would have, and the hair would then sit in beautifully, seamlessly all the way through when it was dried straight. We've got some long layers in there. And it's great for styling options for today, purely because what it gives me. Let's have a look at this, what I'm going to see, my silhouette. Really, really important. I brush that through. You can see now where that sits. Okay, with a natural wave in there as well. Layers wise, it's sitting just below jawline, so it's going to feather back really easily. Give a nice sweep back through here. You can start then playing around with fringe shapes, etc. But there we have a really nice, effortless, what I call my 80s, 90s inspired layered haircut. My go-to, that was one of them. Just because it had balanced layers all the way around. I worked from internal to out, so I was not eradicating that perimeter. The perimeter became the very last bit of the haircut. So you don't always have to start perimeter and then work your way in. You can do it the other way if you are aware of how you're impacting with the length of crowns, etc. Why are they going to impact? Client says, I want to wear my hair up. Where do you wear the ponytail? Do you wear it always generally in the middle of the back of your head, or do you wear it really low? You know, how often do they go to the gym, etc. I've got a nice shag look to this as well. It can be worn that way. It's versatile, can do a lot with it, and it's seamless. I don't have a weight line running through here either. Weight distribution is nice and even all the way through. Hair pops up over the crown. Diffuse that, it will look great. So thank you for watching that. Hope there were some good little tips in there for you. As I said before, we've got Winter Hair Health on January the 8th, back at our usual time, 10 a.m. Ali's going to be on that one. As I said, I'll be away. So thank you so much for putting up with me for 2023. I look forward to seeing you, listening to you, questions, etc. 2024. As always, follow us here on Unite_Hair TV. That's their Instagram account. Go to unitehair.com as well. Give them a follow. Always worth it. And any questions regarding anything, requests about what we're going to teach, put on our Unite TV. Please send to class requests at unitehair.com. As I sign out, any more questions or anything, Mike?
Well, just got a thank you from a great follower here.
A great follower?
Yeah, somebody that we might work with.
Somebody we might work with. Stacey?
And, yeah, so speaking of next year, we've got some great opportunities coming up for anybody interested in assisting Gary during Fashion Week.
Oh,
and
let me just let me go on about that, because people might be frightened of what you're going to do.
Okay.
You're basically going to spend your time with me in New York, running around doing hair tests, really experiencing the full experience of what we do when we work at Fashion Week. How do we send all the teams out the night before, calibrating with hair and makeup, etc. And yeah, it's just a full-on experience, because people have often asked me, how do I do this? What do you need to be involved in it more? I think if you are really passionate about that side of it and you want to pursue it more, it's a really good eye-opener and an indicator of, like, do you really feel like you want to do that? Because there is so much more logistically that goes on as opposed to just turning up and doing hair. So really good one. And then we've also got the opportunity of coming in here and shooting videos with us. We guide you through the shooting process, working on a model, not a mannequin.
Yep.
I'm the only one who gets the mannequins. Working on a real live model, you get to do the hairstyle, and then do they keep a video of it as well?
Yeah, they get to create their very own how-to, and they also get loads of content from the day behind the scenes.
So full of content, you get your own how-to video, and it's also shown on Unite Hair TV as well, obviously. So I think that's a really great one. Anyone who wants to get behind the camera, do what I'm doing basically now, talking to nobody, hoping there is an audience there. Without going mad, I think it's really good. Because some people actually find it quite not hard, but
Nerve-wracking?
yeah, a bit nervous. They get in front of the camera, like, oh, I'm being recorded, etc. We'll teach you to get over that very, very quickly. I'll be on the other side, just pulling faces at you and making your life pretty much like hell the whole time. No, I won't. Ali will probably help you out and be way more enjoyable than I will. So once again, see you 2024.